Excellent. Thank you for that. I've heard you mention the technology, which is obviously near and dear to my heart. From a risk perspective, monitoring of the collateral, assisting with identifying and communicating with clients for maintenance situation. Um, you know, I'd be curious what your thoughts are on technology as a growth driver as well. So not just on the back end, but how can adopting the right technology actually drive more of this business in the front so that you have, a bigger book that needs monitoring?
Great question, Mike, and it's key to the future strategy of Filedpoint Private. We've had recent announcements in the press about our alliance with a third-party RIA, Summit Financial, and their partner Merchant, and other third-party RIAs that need private banking products. We are positioned to provide those through technology and through our expertise in private banking. The technology we're adopting for secured lending is one component of that, but we're using technology in all aspects of our business to help advisors access banking products and services from their desktops, and to do it efficiently and immediately. So real-time access to the secured loan product as well as other products. But using the secured loan product as an example, when you're an independent RIA, you really are at the mercy of your custodian and whoever the custodian may recommend or promote for secured lending. They may, and usually don't, have the best technology or the best process or the best client experience. So having the tools to be able to provide a smooth experience for the advisor and the client, meaning loan approvals quickly, a good monitoring process, as Keith outlined, advanced notices on if there's tightening of the markets that perhaps would put the client in a collateral impairment type situation. All of that is fueled by technology. It's overlaid with banking teams, which we provide, to provide that high touch experience that a fintech, for example, wouldn't be able to provide on its own. So slick technology with the overlay of experienced private banking teams to provide that white glove service is the future of our company. So it's technology driven.
Yeah, and I can only reiterate again, I was at Merrill Lynch and I saw kind of the evolution of this. When we had technology in place where you could easily generate one of these applications, get it approved typically in, 24 hours, in a short period of time. It was just the round trip experience for both the advisor and the client was really reinforcing. And that's when, we saw a lot of that growth. I do want to go back. You touched on a great instrument, matches that and, keeps your spreads in place and can help, maybe buffer some of the fixed loans at lower rates. I know you've discussed some interesting funding strategies for, as this securities-based book ramps up. Anything you can share with the audience on how you plan on maybe funding some of this as it grows?
Well, we have a mix of funding sources. Of course, our core client relationships is our primary source of funding. Some of the assets are held in managed accounts. Some of the liquid assets, I should say, are held in managed accounts that, and the cash is swept to the bank. Others are outside managed accounts that our clients have those funds. That's our core source of funding. But to grow our company at 40%, which is what we did in 2021, we really had to expand that, right? It's very hard to increase core funding without a branch network at that pace. So we have expanded our funding to trust omnibus type deposits with deposit, I call them deposit aggregators, custodians and trust companies that have large amounts of managed cash they need to place in insured balances, and through the use of technology partners, we're able to do that efficiently with opening up a single omnibus account and then having the sub accounting done by the fintech partner.
Yeah, I think that sounds certainly flexible and in line with your sort of mandate to be technologically advanced, doing what's best for the client. So I think that's an interesting point. And really, the last thing I wanted to get into, you mentioned your private banker network, and that's a little bit of my background as well. It's one thing to have a great lending product and even have great technology and processes behind it. What do you think are the keys to making both advisors aware of this product and where it fits within their practice, and helping make it something that's easy to understand and easy to operate for the end client as well, so that the adoption rate sort of matches your appetite and your desire for growth?
Yeah, another good question. Like, the education is crucial there. Showing our banking teams, that's the role they serve. So if we didn't have the overlay of the private banking teams and we just had the technology, it would be hard for the advisors to necessarily understand the benefits of that product if they aren't familiar with it. And so our private banking teams, when a request comes in from an advisor for any type of financing, we look at holistically again, what is the best solution? Many times clients want to be in a position to offer cash to buy a house in this tight housing market, and it's simply impossible to get a mortgage done in a fast closing type situation. So if they want to go in and offer 30-day close all cash and they have liquidity, we would propose to that advisor, here's a good way, leverage the liquidity, we'll underwrite the mortgage, take out that secured loan when the mortgage is done in 45 or 60 days. It's just one example of how our bankers help the advisors understand the options that are available to them and helping their clients achieve their goals.
Yeah, that's great. I think that's maybe the most important thing, is that outreach and education. Now, you mentioned other loans, and I've always been a huge proponent of securities-based lending for a lot of reasons, one of which I always felt like it was one of the easier loans, obviously, to originate and to monitor. So Keith, I'll throw this to you. I mean, how do you view securities-based lending as compared to other types of loans, both from an ease of origination, an ease of evaluation on the back end, ease of liquidation? In my mind, it's always been, pretty favorably compared. What have you seen, and how do you view the product?
So from a risk-based perspective, it's definitely one of the lower risk products that we have, right? So it's great to help you with concentrations on your balance sheet and to shift some risk off of your balance sheet as you look at your overall portfolio, right? So that's number one. But it's typically a little bit of a lower margin product, as you can imagine, given the risk. So it's really important for us to be able to process these and book these efficiently, from not only from origination, but all the way through monitoring. And technology is a huge part of that. Obviously, the technology that we're looking at right now will help us originate, document, and monitor, very seamlessly across all fronts. So it's a good spot to be in terms of positioning your balance sheet from a risk perspective. And it's a good spot to be in to make the assets under management much more sticky as well. So it's somewhere that we really like to be from a concentration perspective and a portfolio management perspective. As long as we can do it efficiently and effectively, it's a good spot for us to be.
That is excellent. That confirms my bias. I feel vindicated. Well, I think that about covers it. Thank you both very much for taking the time to join me today in this discussion. Russ, if people want to find out more about what Filedpoint Private Bank is up to and what they're all about, how can they find out?
Sure, Mike. They could reach out to me via email at rholland@filedpointprivate.com or go to our website, filedpointprivate.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you. If anybody would like more information about the software platform that we've been discussing, automating securities-based lending, you can See more information on www.totalbanksolutions.com. And any questions for me directly, you can email at mmusial@totalbanksolutions.com. Thank you for taking the time, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.